Hello, my friends, and welcome to FISHTORY. My name is Alexander Williamson, and today I have to let you know that I have let down the YouTube community for a long time. But first, we need to kind of talk about what's going on in the world of YouTube and the fact that all YouTube videos in fish keeping, in pets, really in education, no, maybe in everything, has been split into two subjects, two different things that are vastly different. And when you get on your device, it used to be that you would get on there, you'd have a question, whether you're new or you've been engaged for years in the topic and in the hobby and you love it and you know lots, you'd get on, you need to know, how do I filter an aquarium? What is the ammonia cycle? What is the nitrogen cycle? What is the, and you, as you learn, you start to specify more and more. And then you go from what is the ammonia cycle, learning, oh, it's called the nitrogen cycle, to, oh, it's nitrobacillus and nitrobacter. Well, these words, as you start learning more particulars, they get used less and less. And in the competition of the online world, the more specific you get, generally the better information you will find, because fewer people find it worth spending the time to research and do quality work on that, and to include the keywords and the topics that you're getting down to the specific point of. And that's contrasting something very different that's going on these days, which is serving you up what you're watching. So you get on TikTok, you get on Instagram, you get on YouTube, you get on any sort of short form, and you say you like fish, you watch a couple fish videos, you watch a couple time-lapse builds, maybe you look up the nitrogen cycle, and they're going to tell you a 30-minute rundown, and it's probably going to stay pretty surface. The next video might be tangentially fish, but maybe it shows you shrimp. It's a good way to survey an overview of a topic. And in a moment, I'll tell you what those two very different videos are. But right now, I'm talking about the two very different styles of consuming information and, entertainment are right here when you're watching right now. And that is whether you're watching on a TV, a laptop, your phone, or whatever it may be. If you're on the go, you're probably much more likely to be getting served up entertaining spectacles, things that you've never seen before, beautiful fish that make you go, wow, what is that? And then it tells you what the fish is, or maybe it doesn't even do that. Or it gives you some little tidbits of news and info. Or it's something like, a bunch of piranhas swarming around and doing something that you've never seen before. And as this goes on, you start finding things less and less shocking. And unless you're really interested in the hobby of fish keeping and generally, nanofish in general, you're not going to start just watching videos of neon tetras necessarily. But when you see a video of a giant school of them in a big, 500-gallon tank swarming around, that's a showstopper. And the channels that provide this quick soundbite, this quick video bite, they can reel you in, and then they can provide you educational content and real content of value for sure. But I want to contrast that with a lot of channels that are out there right now in the hobby of fish keeping specifically. And I'm going to tell you how my channel has failed and fallen short of the mark of what I should have been doing for years. And this realization came to me, and I'm going to tell you in a moment what that is. And first, I need to tell you, there's the kind of education that you get served, and it quickly devolves from an education to an experience of speculation to a catered and curated thing that just keeps you watching so that you'll watch ads. And it's fine, it's fun. Some people want to blow off 20 minutes or 30 minutes, relax, enjoy a spectacle, enjoy some tidbit facts, but it's not going to stay with fish. It's going to jump all around, because even though 8% of households in the US have a fish tank, an aquarium, and there's an average of 20 fish in that fish tank per household, and that's from people with 30 fish tanks to people with one, the average ends up being that, it is a 2 billion individual fish's lives a year hobby and industry, the ornamental fish hobby globally. And so a lot of their lives are really relying on you as an owner to inform yourself, to learn about the nitrogen cycle. If you get into planted tanks, to learn about the benefits of planting your tank, to learn about each plant, to find species spotlights, to find the fish that you see at the store that you're like, oh, that's cool, or I saw it in this video, but then learn about it. And for you, my goal in this channel was always, I want to tell you the story behind that. And I've limited myself in saying that I'm going to tell you the history of where that fish was found, who discovered it, the fact that he happened to be the cousin of this other guy that's famous for this other thing in this other story I just told you last week. You know, he was on the same ship and things got mixed up, and there's this quirky story that I uncovered. And these sort of things take a lot of research. But as you get more and more specific, the data, the content seems to get better in the internet age, usually. But now we have AI and we have search engines, and it's kind of up in the air. And I want to know your thought on this. So the more specialized we get, the more my videos are about the history of this fish, the evolution of how it evolved, and how they're making polymers out of the structure of the crystalline scale texture on the surface of their scales. Or, you know, there's all sorts, you know, different media outlets out there publishing stories that are related to fish. Yet I have said my channel is for fish keepers who want to know about the science, the history, how to of fish keeping. And yes, there's two kinds of fish keeping channels. There's the kind that are for beginners and that tell you how to do things, they teach you how to do things. And there's a lot of beginners, and every so often a lot of people are trying it out, especially with the lockdown that happened and COVID and all that. We had all these beginners and learners excited at the beginning, last few years, that are looking for, how does my aquarium cycle? How do I keep plants? How do I keep tetras? How do I breed fish? And as it gets more and more specific, and you start using Latin words, you start using scientific words, you start finding videos that are by true experts. Or at least that's the hope, right? And so I've always tried to put myself in a category of, you've been in the hobby for a while, I'm happy to tell you the basics, but I'd love to tell you more. If you've been in the hobby for years, I want to keep it exciting. I want you to come and check in and have an experience of learning with your buddy Alex. That's what I wanted from this channel. I want to make little connections of those little exciting stories, that trivia that you learn in your free time. I want to connect those little abhorrent pieces of information, and all of a sudden you'll say, oh, this thing I was just reading about the other day, because my side hobby is motorcycles, it's about aerodynamics, and Alex just talked about it, about how fish move through the water, and that lab used the same study. What a small world. That's so cool. And then somebody's working on a project and they say, oh my gosh, that works for the rotors on my drone. It's those little magical connections that I think make life worth living, that makes life so exciting. But it takes time to investigate topics to that degree, or to do research. And so I see myself as someone here to curate the research of others, in hopes that I'm sharing what they learned, what I've learned, and what I've learned about learning in the context. And I thought that would be exciting. I thought that would be the ticket to bringing people into a new kind of video. And I realized I shouldn't be talking to fish keepers. I should be talking to people who love motorcycles and aerodynamics and or hydrodynamics and aquadynamics or aquaponics or hydroponics, and people who love plants and people who love science. Channels like Journey to the Microcosm or Microcosms, you know, you're looking under the microscope, and millions of people are interested in pond scum and bacteria and things like water bears and tardigrades, the one and the same. Millions of people love those topics, yet they're so niche scientifically. And if you sit back and get served topics, yes, you may find one of those niches, but you are not controlling that discovery of knowledge. You are not guiding that ship, and you are not feeding the researchers and the people out there who are less concerned with the visual appeal of how everything's presented. And I will give people like SciShow and John and Hank Green definitely a lot of credit, because they're visually appealing, they're quick, they do the shorts and the long form. It's amazing. Some of us aren't quite that talented yet, or we don't have a team of editors and other things yet. And I promise, if you guys stick with me, I've been here 8 years, and as I keep doing this, I want to have a team that does that, that does infographics or just one other person even, so that we can reel in people with the one of two kinds of videos that are in this hobby. And it's spectacle, it's the piranha eating a steak in a big old tank, and then next week they're going to have some other spectacle, which is cool. It takes up your interest while you're walking down the street, waiting at the bus stop, whatever. But when you want to know about the types of bacteria that are living in your tank and how they function and how they interact, and the fact that there's a war going on between them, and some work together and they utilize different elements, and these elements are in different plants and they utilize different colors, and then those colors get metabolized into the bodies of the fish, and the nutrients is, you know, the whole ecosystem. I need to be teaching people who love to learn, people who love science, people who love biology, ecology, ichthyology, botany, whatever it may be. I hope I can target not just, you know, I still need to have titles that are specific enough that if you're in the niche of fish keeping, you find it. But I hope to tell stories in the future that are more fascinating to anybody who comes across them, because it's about that love of knowledge. That is really what this channel is about, or what I wish it to be about. And I feel like I've failed at that for so long and not been able to articulate with you guys where I was falling short, or what I wanted to truly communicate, and honestly what I want to do with my life. I can't have kids, unfortunately. My wife and I truly desired to have kids. I've got my beautiful cat, and I've got lots of fish, I've got incredible friends, and I have this channel, and I have my nonprofit that's all about preservation, conservation, and education. And I hope that I can continue to do that. And I am not a channel that is full of spectacle, but I need your help in thinking of that, to draw the people in who then can be interested in learning about fish keeping, or learning about that aspect of that slice of science, or that little puzzle piece that fits into their scientific life somewhere else. I want to access all of that. I don't just want to be a fish YouTuber anymore. And fish YouTubers are either spectacle or teacher. And sometimes they cross over, sometimes there's a little of both. Sometimes it's a short content and you do get to learn, and there is information there and they can pack quite a bit in. Other times it's the thing that makes you go, aha, and then you check it out deeper and you do research yourself. But I want to help you learn to learn, and want to be here to curate what I'm learning, what others have learned, and what we are learning all together, you know, in this hobby, but also in a greater sense as a society, as a community, as, you know, the great experiment of society, education, science, and the legacy of the Enlightenment, sure, and the wonders of the universe and the things that we just can't explain, you know. There's definitely even a spiritual echo to it there, in the beauty that is there. And I don't think explaining things more thoroughly takes away from that. I think it just shows how much more beautiful they can truly be when you understand the true complexity, and we never fully will. So I want to ask you to please let me know what I can do to facilitate that experience, to reach out to others who love ecology, biology, ichthyology, horticulture, aquaculture, aquaponics, whatever it may be that we cover in this broad swath. And without just making a spectacle, some of the best places you can get that kind of information are so overlooked. Some of the best videos made by professors have like 500 subscribers on a channel that's been around 10, 15 years on YouTube. People are like Oliver Lucanis, or Ivan Mikolji, or Rebecca Bentley, you know, Freshwater Ichthyology, her channel, and all about plecos and catfish. Ivan Mikolji and his videos and photos of all over the Orinoco collecting fish. There are countless channels that are just going out and showing you things you've never seen before. They check the box for spectacle and education, but maybe the film quality is low. Maybe the spectacle being delivered to you on your device, it's just not, it doesn't have the search terms. It doesn't have the visual appeal within a second. You need to contextualize it with the education of the deep dives, and you need to choose that path of learning yourself. You need to know, okay, I like that and I want more of it, and I'm tracking down these breadcrumbs, and that's how you will enjoy my content the most, I find. and others, and you will come back and you will teach me too, and then I can share that again with more people. And I fear that this scrolling and being served up new spectacles over new niche hobbies, new niche learning, is that is going to become all we have. And it will be token learning, but you won't truly see the complexity and beauty of our world. And I've been at this for 8 years now, and I just realized, there's really those two types of channels out there now, and the two types of experience. Either you seize the day, you control your learning and what you're watching, and you even decide, skip the ads, do this, watch something else, go to a different website altogether, or you feed what they are serving in the cafeteria, and it's pretty well refined, pretty entertaining and tasty stuff. That's what I've been thinking about, you guys. What do you think? At the end of the day, I can't do anything but feel so grateful that I've made it this far. Every year, every 2 years, we are bringing new people into the hobby, and they may only stay 6 months. They may only stay a year or two, and a few stay for a lifetime. And oftentimes they get what they needed and they move on. And out of 80,000 subscribers in 8 years, maybe 20,000 of you are still out there. But I want to challenge you to go track down the niche hobbies, the niche interests, the niche things, the Latin names that you hate pronouncing. Track those down, look them up, and get excited about learning and the connections of learning. And I think it will make for a better life experience. It will make us feel more fulfilled, more connected to nature, to the world around us. And we won't just be served something by someone else that's dictated by AI or dictated by, research, surveys, and polls. So thank you. I couldn't do all the deep dives, all the niche work, all the stuff that a lot of people say is a waste of time because I'm not reaching out to the big audience. I'm getting narrower and narrower in my audience as I specialize on topics. But I love to learn, and those are the most fascinating things to learn about when that connects to something broad. And I wouldn't have it any other way, and I will keep doing this as long as I can. It's only $1.99 to become a member to support this journey. If you want to help me out, keep the lights on. I'm making what I made 4 years ago right now, and that's because of that nature of that attrition and people coming through, being interested, and then YouTube also knowing, hide that page, they have a new hobby now. But maybe you come back through every once in a while, and while you're thinking about it, take control of your learning experience, of your entertainment experience, and soon enough, you'll be served all your entertainment, whether you like it or not. But for now, you're in control, and let me know what you'd like to learn about. I'm here to learn with you, and I'm here to be excited about it all and amazed by the beauty of it. All right, you guys, take care, and I'll see you next time on FISHTORY.